Actually, the first time I met Judge Teitelman was in the airport in Kansas City, and I had gone up for the presiding judges meeting, and he was the Chief Justice of the Missouri Supreme Court at the time. And I had brought my auntie with me for her birthday, and I walked up, and I'd never really met him before, and I said, he was sitting all by himself in the airport, and I said, Judge Teitelman, we've met, I'm Lisa Page. Oh, Judge Page from Jefferson County. I had no clue he knew that. And I said, Judge Teitelman, why are you sitting here all by yourself? And he looked so forlorn, and he said, Judge Page, I've misplaced my marshal. So I sat my auntie down with him, and I'm gonna get a taxi, and I'll get all of us to the hotel. And so I'm off trying to find a taxi and get us there. And all of a sudden I hear, Judge Page, I have found my marshal, and you are gonna ride with us to the hotel. Well, he throws me in the front seat, and he and my auntie sat in the back seat, and he just made her feel like she was a member of the greatest generation. And she got out of the car and she said, that's the most amazing, important person I've ever met.
I had a voicemail once that said, if you couldn't get me, I was on the phone or out on the never-ending quest for justice. And Rick just loved that message, and he always talked to me about it and would ask how my quest for justice was going. And in fact, what I had done is I had inadvertently really captured the essence of Rick Teitelman. That's what he was all about, the never-ending quest for justice.
He did everything he could to make legal aid acceptable in the community, cool in the legal profession. He joined every organization possible. He was very sociable. Any place two or more people were gathered together to talk about, that might be talking about legal aid, he would be there.
Sometimes you would go somewhere and you'd sort of be surprised that he was there, like that he couldn't possibly go to every event, but he really did. And so I'll miss that about him, and I'll miss just his wonderful spirit. Like, he is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. It would have surprised you that he's such a brilliant jurist and such just brilliant person, because he is so down to earth and such a good people person, and is so fun to talk to.
Yeah, the last time I saw Rick, it was at a donor reception that we had. And so I was at this donor event with a crutch. Now, Rick was there in a wheelchair, but in classic Rick fashion, he wasn't thinking about himself and his circumstances. He saw me with a crutch. So very soon thereafter, I got this call inquiring about me. That's another hallmark about Rick. He always was thinking about others, and always wanting to know how you were and how he could help.
Just a couple of months or so before he died, I was talking to him, and I told him that Mariah, my daughter who had volunteered at Legal Services, had had her second boy. And he was excited about that. And a couple days later, I open a package, and it's from Rick. And it's a frame that says grandkids on it. And when I looked at the frame, I thought, it was a little hokey, and I put it aside. And I was supposed to go out to lunch with Rick, and he put it off, and he said we'd get around to it. And of course we won't. And after he died, I pulled out that frame that had seemed hokey at the time and put a picture of Mariah and her two kids and me in it. This is it. This is the frame that says grandkids that he had sent to me. And so it's in my office now. It is a reminder of Rick.
I miss the conversations where when he calls and he would just to check in and say hello and talk about some group that he had spoken to and how amazing work they did. And it was never about him, but like he would talk about the people he'd encounter and all the stuff they would do to make the world a better place. But he never really talked about what he did, but he did more than anybody else. And I miss those conversations. I miss Judge Teitelman.
And I think he will be impactful beyond just the way he voted or just the way he analyzed cases or something like that. There will be a spirit missing. There will be a real sense of conscience missing. People will have to fill in and fill that role because there will be a void there. And I think it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.